Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Olee today. So we're gonna cover a short film that we did for Mr. Beast today, and we just want to go over, kind of react to the video that they put out. It took us about a week to make. It was a fun project, and we just kind of want to go over the whole cast and the crew and the experience and stuff like that. So today we're gonna be playing it back. You guys are gonna get to see it for the first time. We're finally sharing what we did. It was an exciting project, and so I'm here with Olee. And he's going to share how it was for him to be an actor in it. And I'm going to share some of the tips that I have and experience that I had doing the short film. I don't want to say short film because it was like a marketing video, right?
Yeah, it was.
And so Mr. Beast kind of, reached out to us, reached out to the company and said, we have, the chocolate that's coming out in a couple months. And then you just could come up with something that you can, the best that you can. And so this is what we came up with. So, we're going to get into that. But first, man, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, man. But, I've been wanting to ask you, man, what are those things right there, man?
So these are the new Hollyland C1 Pros.
Okay.
They just came out. They came by the studio, actually, to, I don't know if you guys can see them. But they came by the studio. I know it's blurry, but, they're kind of doing all these, like, demos and stuff, going around, letting people test them. And we have a couple comms here that we already use. Yeah. But these are some of the new ones that Hollyland. I didn't think they were that kind of into it. From what I know, it was just transmitters for cameras and stuff like that. External monitors. But this is really good.
So basically, you got an open channel, 8 people, and you can talk to each other and adjust. Hey, Armin, give me a little bit of light here, from all the way over there, and get it all done without me having to walk back over there. Yeah. So that make the workflow better, right?
Yeah. So I mean, these things aren't really new. Yeah. I would say this model is by Hollyland is new, but like comms have always, like when you think comms, you always think, okay, something to be used in, I don't know, transportation or airport security or, helicopters, aviation, right? Yeah. But also when it comes to, film and video production, you think people use it on events. Well, if you don't know, if you haven't used them, but a lot of people use this on filmmaking, right? Because you'll have, you have a scene in one room and then someone shooting something in the next room or send up another scene, maybe getting gear outside ready for the next shoot. So this is something that you would still use. Comms are very good for communicating with people, regardless of what kind of project you're doing. So I don't know the model that we had, but they brought this into our studio and I loved how they sound. I mean, the quality was great.
I love how they look.
Slim, right?
Like you see this like leather situation here, and then the back, and then I mean, it's just the fact that I could be, I don't know, 100 feet away from you, and I could just, yo, Armin, what? I need this to the left. You feel me? That's a time saver, bro. Yeah, and then honestly, I didn't mention it yet, but I forgot to mention that I did we did a feature film recently. It was a pitch. Yeah. And I can't really say a name yet, but I'll show you a clip later. I got to see that trailer, man. Yeah. You say you was going to show it to me. We started. What's up,
I guess we'll take a break and I'll show it to you. But so we used this on one of the scenes. There was a locker room scene in a school. And so when you walk into the school, there's like a little staging area. We had all the cameras and stuff. And then you walk out and you go to the hallway, and then down the hallway is where the locker rooms were. And that's where we were mainly setting up lights and shooting. So in order to communicate with the guys without them coming out in the shot, they had to be in the staging room, and then we were calling them with the comms. They're kind of like, hey, we need this, we need that. And for situations like that, that's where it's useful. But if you're in a room, it's almost like useless if everyone's in that same room. Like
one of the you need space. You need space. You got to be somewhere else. Yeah.
And then it's almost like better. But here's the other thing. Like I don't think people realize that sometimes I prefer the one piece, better. Because then you can talk to somebody in front of you.
Yeah, and actually hear what they're saying right there.
Exactly.
Fully covered like we are right now.
Yeah, we've used some where it's fully covered, and I'm constantly having to take off
one side and have a conversation.
So it's nice to have both options.
That's what's up, man. So, big ups for, what is it?
Hollyland, yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Nice. Well, we're going to get back to, we're going to talk about that short. Well, we got to call it a short, man. Yeah, because that's what we decided to do when it came to that Mr. Beast situation, right? So we're gonna play some clips.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Armin shot the whole thing. You edit everything, right? Everything was done Even the effects when the candy bar was spinning around, it was done right here.
I know we can't show that part, but
we can't show. There's a lot of stuff that we can't show. You know what? That comes. You know, I think I told you, man, kind of messed up in my head that we had so many actors there, and they didn't get their little time to shine, which is fine. It happens, you know, because he made a commercial out of other people commercials. You know what I'm saying? That was the purpose. That, you know, he wasn't going to play the whole entire clip from everybody, which he did on the short ones. He played one that it was right. Did he?
I think so, yeah. We just watched it, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. He played one of the, the one before us. He played the whole clip, which is fine. But
it is shorter. Huh? It is, I guess, maybe because we don't ultimately know how long these were.
Yeah.
Because we just watched the sequences that they put together, right? So we don't know the actual length of each one when he's showing them. Like, we can assume this might be longer, this might be shorter. But just because we see all the clips they're showing, I don't know. Maybe that one was short.
Yeah, well, what I can say, I loved how we put this project together so fast, and we did not have any type of direction of what we were supposed to do, which that's why we chose to go that route, right? And my takes were fast, man.
Yeah, you did good. I mean, I think it was like just on the fly. Yeah, I think you're naturally funny. Yeah, but I think the hardest part about the whole thing was writing the story. I think because we're not writers, for one.
Yeah.
We're not storyboarders, and we're not storyboarding anything, and we're just basically, we got called, like a day before we started writing, and said, "Oh, you got 1 week to do something with this. Yeah, what we're giving you. Here's a chocolate. You got to make something, right?
No direction whatsoever.
No direction. They didn't tell. They said whatever you think and however long you think you need to do it. Right. So I think we had 1 week. So now when you're talking 1 week, so this is making a script, shooting it, then editing it, right, and then making sure the locations that you have are available within that time frame, and then the people that you're going to be using are going to be available, right? Yeah. So I don't know how we did it, but we somehow did it. We got some great guys here that put things together, and we're able to get locations, and it's just a commitment. Like, I learned so much about you. I learned so much about the people that we worked around just off this project alone.
Yeah, they were all there on time. We were all, put the extra hours, and Will.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, getting the crew together, getting the actors together, and acting in it himself, and helping it direct, and helping it write. I mean, it's just, that was...
it would have been good if you would have played the whole thing. That's just me, because we did it, right? I'm always going to think like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're a little bit biased, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's normal to be like that, because we see it from our standpoint that it's not just our project. I feel like they should show all of them, like, entirely.
Yeah.
And then,
not to say he would have made a whole lot of cash out of all these projects, just showing them in the video. Just thinking,
just posting a video is making him money, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He would have said, all right, let's see the number one. Boom, would have thrown that on there, bro. That thing would have got, 50 million views?
Yeah.
And then moved on to the next one, and the next one, bro. That thing would have been crazy. But, hey, it is what it is. He did what he was supposed to do. I from the beginning, when I first saw it, I said, oh, okay, that's what he wanted to do. And he accomplished what he wanted to do. He can't do what we want.
We can't do what we want. Exactly. We got paid to do what we did, and I think that's what it was. But at the same time, how do I put this? Like, we want to do what we want to do, but at the same time, like let's say his YouTube channel, you probably don't know who structures it and who's in charge of it, even though he may be in charge. Right, like me and you, let's say we have a system to how we do episodes.
Yes.
And if somebody said, well, why don't you guys throw a short film on that episode?
Well, that's not what we do.
Exactly, but it wouldn't fit the scheme of what we have.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, well, why would I throw an entire short film or a commercial on top of only reaction videos?
Exactly. No.
So there's a formula that he follows.
What was your favorite, the best day you had there, man? My thing was when Will was walking through the door.
My favorite day was going to be at the cyberpunk place that we shot with the dog, and then when he's walking through the door, all that stuff. But my favorite scene out of any of the scenes is the scientist scene.
I love the ending.
The ending is good.
I thought that was super funny. We can't show you the ending, but the ending was the funniest part. It was crazy, and the way it came about, we did it so fast. for the amount of people that we had to control at that time, it was pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, also, you know, it was getting dark outside. So, you know, it was overall, man, I'm happy about the whole situation. I mean, yeah. But we got more stuff coming out. And I wanted to ask you about the short.
Okay, this one?
What can you tell me about what you was working at that last week? What can you say about it? I mean, you should be able to say something. I mean,
I can say plenty, except for I can't really say what it's called.
Yeah.
I can't share the trailer because right now we're in the stages of pitching it to investors. Mm-hmm. So it's a Christian film, and it's directed by Steph Kars, and it's a story, which I would like to bring him on the show one day because I actually talked to him. He said he's interested. Mm-hmm. And so it's a story about a woman that, you know, was going to church, and then she lost her faith, and then she kind of gained it back. But I'm not going to go too deep into it. But basically, so Dan was lighting. He was gaffer. I don't know if you saw some of the BTS.
I did.
And I can't tell you, but so we have 4 days to shoot. I don't know how many minutes, but basically we needed like an 8 to 10 minute trailer. It's a concept, right? So when you think trailers, you think 2 to 3 minutes, right? But this is a concept to be pitched to investors. So they need to see the whole thing as like a sales pitch almost, I would say. Right, because in 2 minutes you can't tell them enough. You're giving.
You have any idea how much you're trying to get this thing off the ground? And
a couple million.
A couple $1 million.
Yeah, and then to be honest with you, it looks. Everyone thinks it looks so good that it would be weird for us to not get any kind of budget for it. And I think it came out looking great. I was really surprised. I'm not surprised. I think the effort and work that we put into it and all the people that we had, and we didn't have that big of a crew. It was me. It was Dan. It was Karina, Bill, Jack.
Me on the phone.
On the phone, asking me how I'm doing.
Yo, Pete, what's up? How's it going? Man, we're doing this right
I don't know.
now.
Did you even call me?
I think we spoke. Okay. When he was on set. I think he was shooting something out of church or something like that when I spoke to you.
Yeah, so Monday, Tuesday are probably the hardest day. So Monday morning, 6 a.m. So we're talking Claremont. We have to drive to Claremont, an hour there, hour back every single time.
Gotcha.
So, so these are like 16-hour day shoots. Wow. So we wake up around 4 a.m., we come to the studio, we kind of grab what we need, and we leave from here. And so Monday we had to be there at 6 a.m. So we had to leave here from 5, at 5. We get there at 6. We start setting up at the school lockers. And then from there, it was like 5 different locations in the same day. And had we not had that truck, like that big box truck we have,
the one
I don't know how anybody would have done this.
But because you packed up a bunch of gear. And
it's assembled and ready in there. Because if you have a van, a couple cars, there's no way, I guarantee you, nobody would be able to do it in time.
So you had the slider, you had everything assembled inside?
Everything was assembled. Now, the only thing we don't put in the box truck is lenses and cameras because of vibrations.
Yeah.
So all those were in my car, and some of the other stuff was in the van and stuff. But like, think about all the lights, the gaff, you know, like the gaffer who has to set up all the lights is taking all that time, right? So the lights being set up is a plus. Now, I'm not going to say we had all the lights in there because that's another thing that you'd have to worry about is vibrations.
Yeah.
But like tripod, sliders, audio gear, it's just in a tub, ready to go. As soon as we move it, we bring it down with the lift gate, and it's perfect. It's ready to go. So
how many of you guys were out there?
So it was about maybe for crew, probably like 6 people. So it's me, Bill. Wow. Yeah, I mean, think about it, bro. You think production, you think a lot of people. Nah, man. It's me, Karina, Jack, Mike, Bill, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike, Jack, Bill, me, and Karina. Yeah, that was it. Because Doug was supposed to be there, but he was busy. And then so we did that in 4 days. It came out to an 8-minute trailer. But the craziest thing was, bro, like we started at 6 a.m. and we had to be done that same day around midnight. And then we got to be up at 4 in the morning. So you're talking 4 hours of sleep. So the first day I was done. My back started going out. I couldn't move. Like it was spasming. And I was like, I was walking like this. I was stiff and I couldn't walk. And we're in the studio filming a scene where she's singing, the actress. And bro, like I couldn't lift up anything. And it's like the last scene. It was hard, man. It was like the tiredness was catching up. And but bro, like to be honest with you, when you see it, as a matter of fact, I want to show it to you first so you can kind of say, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? So
that's what's up. Now, one more thing. I saw a post on Instagram about a project you got coming up, Miami somewhere.
Yeah. So the movie Dojo.
Gotcha.
I know some of the followers know that I did 2 years ago with John Paul. He produced it, and so the movie has won a Guinness World Record for most awards.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 400 plus, and I didn't think that was gonna happen, but we ended up winning like some of the major like big festivals. I'm not sure, the one in France, I forgot what it was called, a couple in the States, but it's been submitted to a lot, and it won a lot, man. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but so right now it's probably 6 to 8 weeks when we're supposed to wait for the plaque to come.
Yeah.
So once we get the plaque that actually gets put into the system, like this film is the official Guinness World Record for most awards, then we can bring the guys on the podcast. We can show the plaque and we can kind of talk about what it was to do it.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. So now we're sending it to TV platforms and streaming platforms. So the only way for it to be like to make it there, for them to accept it, is there's a certain time that it has to be.
It's gotta be longer.
So the short's like 15 minutes, right? And then the executive producer is saying, well, it needs to be 25 to 30. So now we got to go back to Miami on the 25th, and we have to make an extended version of that. And it's not going to be an extended storyline version. It's almost going to be like an extended, I wouldn't say deleted scenes, but like exclusive content.
Yeah.
Where you kind of go into the behind the scenes of the cast, and then the directors and stuff like that. We get to talk about the experience of how I was making it. And that's going to just push it. So basically you have the movie, and then right after the movie ends, then you have the exclusive content, and then the credits kick in, and then we should be hitting that 25-minute mark.
Gotcha.
And then you can submit it. So
that's going to be good. Any other projects you got coming up, man?
As far as films, no. But on top of that one that I just mentioned, there's apparently a couple of guys from Japan who are interested in producing the feature.
Gotcha.
So a couple million. It's.
When are we gonna put something together? We got to find some time, man.
We got to do that barbershop thing of yours.
Yeah, we got to do that. But that could wait. We just
Okay, so if you're interested, because I am, I've been writing a story a couple years now.
Okay.
We want to do it in the cabin in Tennessee, in the mountains.
Wow.
And it's like a thriller, like a suspense thriller. It's very sci-fi. And so what I want to do is the crew that comes on set to help out, and also the actors and all that, we would all stay in the same cabin. We would all kind of like chip in to pay for the cabin, and we'd have our rooms, and then we'd stay there for maybe 2 weeks, shoot for 1 week, hang out for another week, and then you don't have to worry about reliability, people not showing up on time, everyone's there, and everything is shot inside the cabin.
Everybody's in jail.
Everybody's in jail. And you got when that bell rings, you got to come outside. So if you're interested, man, let me know.
Yeah.
We got to finish writing it. So
Definitely. Who's writing that?
Who wrote it?
Who's writing it?
You
got it. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So if you want to help me out, I mean, I'm kind of, me with the writing. I'm not really that good.
Yeah.
But I have a concept together.
Yeah.
I just need to, the problem is always screenplaying. The dialogue from what happens from here to here. That's the stuff that I have a kind of issue with. And I'm not really a writer, but, you probably something else.
I mean, so far,
get someone on Fiverr.
I mean, I'm not really a writer, but hey, you got to see some of this stuff, man. It's amazing. For not being a writer, your stuff is like boom, on point.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. It's not bad, I would say.
You say you're not a writer.
Yeah.
I mean, there it is.
Okay, but tell me something you watched of mine that I wrote.
That you wrote?
Yeah, I didn't really write anything.
There's not a lot of this in it, but there's a lot of stuff that was done. You know what I'm saying?
So subtext is
exactly.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I mean,
not a lot of talking, but a lot of visuals that convey the story.
But on the stuff that we did before years ago, a lot of stuff was written by you too, or the idea,
right? The 236.
So, yeah. So
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff didn't have too much dialogue. We kind of.
Yeah.
But that Room 236 thing is very similar to the one that I want to do in the cabin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Stuff just like that.
Don't give it all up, man.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah.
Okay. Can't do that.
Maybe I can release this after the movie comes. So yeah, man. So that'll be fun if we can. If you want to come, we'll probably be driving up there, bringing all the gear.
Yeah, I think I'll be down for something. And I'll be down for that. I would love to do
2
that.
weeks. It's like a vacation.
It's gonna be cold as hell, but
I want to do it in the cold with the snow.
Yeah, the snow will be nice.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
All right, so you already have who you spoke to about
this?
Yeah.
So the only people that know about this is Briar. Briar's in Mr. Beast's video.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben, obviously Karina. Mm-hmm. I think I told Brian about it.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to bring him on the podcast show. Who else did I tell it? I don't know. It's very small handful of people that I told about it because I didn't want to get people too hyped because I don't have the story complete.
Yeah.
And I throw out the concept, but at the same time, I noticed I used to do that a lot. Like there was a story that I started back in 2019, and what is it, 5 years now? And I told a bunch of people, hey, I'm shooting this next year. I'm shooting this next year. And then I never ended up shooting it. And then people lose interest in me, you know?
No, I mean, I won't see it that way, man. I mean, it happens. I mean, sometimes you start something or you know, it's just, look right now. We got this thing going on and we shoot you get so busy, you know, and you can't mix things up, man. If you got, you know, like the short that you just did, I mean, you can't. You got to put some stuff to the side. You can't, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like when I notice us as filmmakers, we never really get to work on our own stuff.
That's what that's what I've been worrying about. I'm like, damn, when we're going to do some shit, man.
Yeah. Because it's always like, you know, you get burnt out doing other people's kind of creative things.
You don't want to touch a camera after you get home.
Yeah, and then you're like, how hard is it gonna be for me to create something, and then I got to put the money down.
Yeah,
and then you want to ultimately direct it, write it, and drive the story in a certain way, but then you realize you got to be the one shooting it.
Yeah,
right. So you go from, I kind of like working with someone because they're handling the production side, but at the same time, creatively, that's not what I want to do because I'm not actually controlling where the story's going. I'm just doing what my boss is telling me, right? There is some project where they give you leeway.
Yeah.
Now this project that I did it was great.
Yeah.
Steph allowed us to be able to kind of communicate with them and throw creative ideas, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But you'll be sometimes on projects you can't say anything.
Well, maybe what the answer to that would be to pass out some hats, man. You know, get together with some people. This is your role. This is what you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then that way it'll make things a bit easier for you. And then everybody will be, I understand that. Yeah. I'm listening. But if you get us together, you know, that's not going to be a problem.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to be a problem. So then again, they're going to know, okay, this is my part. This is, you know, that's going to make it way better. Because if you wear all these hats, man, that's where, you know, it never gets started because you're like, how am I going to do this and that, with all this other stuff that I got going on with work and filming this for other people. So we, you know, just take some hats off, man, and pass them on.
Yeah, and ultimately trust the guys that you're working with that they're going to do the job just as good because.
Well, there's always room for correction. You know what I'm saying? And if we get together, it'd be like, listen, boom, I got this idea. And you can always throw your idea and be like, what don't we do it this way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the point. And I think there should be a small group of guys that actually works on the story. And then whoever comes after and says anything, we say, this is the script, we're done.
Yeah.
I'll take a couple suggestions, but to make sure it doesn't go haywire, you know, we get it done on paper, and that way you can pass out the hats.
That almost happened on that Mr. Beast commercial, but we didn't have no space to be listening to anything else than what we wrote that night. We changed a few things, but that almost happened, and that had me a little stressed out because it was like midnight, and it was like, we're not changing that right now.
Yeah,
we got to keep going.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like, especially when someone like, it's just like, you know, some people because they're. Okay, I talked to Dan about this. Dan says when he works on projects, he says that there is a kind of like in between where if you're taking a cut out of your paycheck to do what you want to do, and then you feel like you have some sort of say in the creative side. Yeah. And that is true. I mean, it's like, hey, I charge this much, but if you're going to pay me this much, I got to kind of say where it's going to go. Yeah. Right? So there's got to be a way to mitigate that in a way that if the story is done and I just met you a week after and I'm talking to you about my story, it's on paper and it's finished. This is it. You know, I don't want to go back to the writing board and rewrite everything because you're suggesting things.
Well, I'm not talking about just that. I mean, on set, changing stuff there, it could take a whole lot of times for people to readjust. Yeah. All right, so you give me a part. I go home. I eat it up. Yep. I get there. You change it. It's not going to be the same, man. I'm not feeling that. I mean, I'm going to do it because it's my job, but at the same time, I got this other thing in my head that is playing that I've been reading or getting ready for. Yeah. So when you change it, that will take 55. Then it's not my fault. Bro, you changed it.
Exactly.
You should have kept it because I could do that in 2 takes, but now, you don't set me back.
Yeah, and the only person I feel like at that point who should suggest anything is the person acting because if they feel comfortable with changing something.
Exactly.
The suggestion from them is adequate because they're going to be like, I can do this.
Not every director is going to accept that.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's another problem.
But that's why I like working with us, because it's like we are working on the project versus, hey, this director is getting a couple guys that, like we talk about this all the time. It's like, hey, I'm going to hire this guy, and then you guys come on board because I got this project. And then at that point, you know, they don't work collectively together. Almost like when you watch Adam Sandler movies, I like how his stuff is because he gets his friends and they work together. And I don't know how that works as far as writing, but that's the kind of environment that I want to make with us. Yeah. You know, like, hey, we can put out stuff. And I don't even care if we make money or not make money with it. We can just say we did it. And then
that's my thing. I love to say, boom, yo, we did this. You know, because it's so hard to do it. It's so hard to put all these people together to get this thing going, right? It's super hard to get 20 people going in the same direction.
That's why I said the cabin thing. That's why I literally came up with that. And I was like, this is a perfect place where no one can run away. Again, keep them jailed up in the house. Hey, we got to shoot. Morning, 7 a.m., wake up. You can't be late.
You can't be late.
Food's here. Yeah. We're all going to eat and then get ready. I mean, we're in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Yeah, and that's the way. And think about it this way. We work so hard to make things look good, right? Our quality is exceptional. Everything's exceptional, the camera angles. So imagine what if we took the time to apply that same care for our own projects. Yes. You know, and that's what I want to see. I want to see, because if you ask me now, have I done anything as far as a passion project right now? I haven't. No. And I like to see where my limits are now, because back then, the last time I did a passion project was the limitations that I had at that point, right? Yeah. So I would love to see what we can do now to the amount that we've upgraded.
The time that you will put in, the time, I mean, you know how it is. It'll be crazy. Yeah, we'll be out for 24 hours. People calling, yo, when you coming home?
But that's what I'm saying. You see, when I go back to the cabin thing, you go straight to bed. Yeah. Your bedroom's upstairs. Yeah. You know, we can be up 16, 17 hours and, you know what I mean? Leave the cameras right there.
Just write it, in the morning. Just write it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll share it with you a little. Maybe we can chip in a little. But the other thing I want to touch on as far as passion projects, right? How do you feel about this? Okay. So let's say I have a passion project, okay? And I want to do kind of what we're discussing right now. All right. So I have people come to me that are also helping, I'm not going to say names, but are also helping us to help with, let's say, my passion project. I come up with a story and I said, hey guys, I want to get all of us together, us friends, and let's make this thing happen because I wrote something. So I got the gear, I got the resources, I got the help of friends. So one of them would come and tell me their passion project, but they don't have gear. They don't have resources. So is it adequate for us to go with it? Because ultimately, like, it's almost like, how do I find a way to pay them back?
No, that's not. No, you don't get somebody to shoot your project with you and then you got to shoot their projects. It don't work like that. Yeah. It goes back to whenever I got an artist that call me up, which they don't no more because of the way I tell them, yo, shoot this video for me. Oh, it's this much. Damn, man. But what about this? What about that? I'm like, bro, you know, it's not really about the money, but bro, you just bought a new car. If you believe so much in you, invest in yourself. Buy yourself. Yeah. This video, you know, spend money in the studio. So back to what you were saying is like, okay, yeah, you got a project, but you don't have no gear. Buy gear, buy lights. You know, show people that you are investing into your project. Don't just come trying to, hey, let me borrow your camera. Or, oh, he's got a good mic. Let's go. Come on. No, man, I want to see you buying I want to see you investing in yourself in many ways before I can say, oh, all right, this guy's not just using me for what I have. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That I don't know if that answers a little bit of your question.
I have an opinion on it. I wanted to see what you thought, because the way I see it is that if I'm shooting my own passion project, I'm putting the most amount of responsibility in what I'm doing.
And the gear.
If you're like a gaff or a grip, and then because you help me as a grip, it doesn't mean I have to shoot your project.
You don't have to shoot somebody else's project. That's not how it works.
I would help as a grip back. That means you have to, you know what I mean? You would have to have your own gear to pull it off.
Exactly. I mean, you have to invest in yourself. When we first met, you know, and we were doing a project, every week something was popping up new, whether it was a light, whether it was a jib, whether it was a slider, something was always coming up. You get what I'm saying? So that kind of showed us that we were into it, and not just for our own stuff. Because honestly, the film wasn't ours, but we were putting in even, I would say, money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you come up, I bought an 85. You know what I'm saying? Well, for what? You ain't doing nothing else. This is what we're doing. So we kind of investing into the project. That's not even so that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
but I think people they're not thinking that way, and I'm trying to go about it not in a rude way.
Yeah.
But in explaining in a business sense, because
in a business sense, it makes sense, and they have to listen to what you're saying. I mean, if they don't, I mean,
because we're doing the most amount of work. So I feel that we have our own passion project that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're ultimately doing the most amount of work, so it's normal for us to be the leader in the writing and the storytelling and all that. You know?
One thing that I will probably be okay with putting in, it's I'll put in the work. I mean, it's hard getting people together, so you have to have the right people around you, right? So basically, I'm not good calling 10 people. You're gonna be there 9.
Yeah.
I mean, Will, well, he does. I can't do what he do. I can't do what Will does. I can't. There's no way I'm gonna be able to call. He texts everybody at 6 o'clock. We're gonna be there at 9. If anybody's gonna cancel, let me know now. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can't do that. I got my own thing going on. I got my I wanna. We gotta be there at 9. Okay, I got 3 alarm clocks. You feel me? I ain't got time to call anybody.
No, that's not your responsibility. It makes sense. You're not producer or assistant director or anything.
Exactly.
If you're acting, you shouldn't worry about that. If you're doing anything besides the production side and handling people together, you shouldn't be doing that at all. And sometimes here, Bill has got me doing that now because I'm managing the video production side. So basically, I have to get in contact with the guys, text them, put them on a group text, and say, hey, got to be here at this time. Did you do this? Did you do that? Whatever. But ultimately, as you move the chain of command, you have to assume responsibility in what you're doing, right? So if I'm going to be director or DP, that's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
That should be somebody that you allocate and tell them, okay, my assistant should, for that.
It's just too much.
Yeah, no, it is. You're burnt out.
You doing all that, you may forget to bring a lens that you really need.
That's exactly what happens.
So you don't.
I forget a battery, forget to charge something. I like to go straight to bed after using my mind all day to think creatively. Yeah. And so now I have to think about what I'm going to tell them.
And not only that, man, I noticed that when I have something tomorrow, just because I don't want to be late, just because I probably don't, I wouldn't even sleep right. Yeah. I don't know if that happens to you.
It happens to me all the time.
Bro, it's crazy.
I can go to sleep as early as I think I can and as early as I think I would get enough sleep. Maybe it'll work for 3 hours, but then I wake up and I'm up for 4 or 5 hours twisting and turning in bed.
Yeah, that happens to me. I'm like, damn, how am I going to rest for this stuff? And that happened. Yeah, that's crazy.
And the only way I fall asleep is to be honest with you, is the first night's always the hardest. But the nights that it gets easier is when you're, like if you do the first day shoots and you only got 3-4 hours of sleep, basically at that point, you're knocking out. It doesn't matter if you're having anything on your mind. You're worn out to where you won't wake up at all. Yeah. So, but that's what happened with me.
The crazy part is that when you're done or when you're on set for like 12 hours after that, you're like, bro, everything hurts. Yeah. Everything. Like my feet, everything hurts.
Yeah. Especially if you don't sleep enough. But I will say, man, cold showers really help.
Really?
That stuff is like magic. It's just like it's a life hack is all I'm gonna say.
Really?
You got to go in there, make it ice cold. I don't know what it is, man, but like, bro, like if I'm sleepy,
yeah,
and I know I don't want to go in there, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be painful. I can't go in there. Like, I'm constantly telling myself, no, don't go in. This is painful. This is hard. You're gonna be gasping for air. As soon as I'm done, bro, it's the best thing in the world. And it's the hardest part is convincing yourself to step in there and take the cold for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I gotta try that one day. You've been telling me that for a while. Listen, do you get to use those things here?
These?
Yeah, you use them or you test them out.
Just the event that we just did.
Really?
For trucker insurance, yeah.
So you will give them a.
I would say, I mean, it's not going to be anything as crazy as some of the other ones, but it's up there, and this is like industry quality. you know, the quality that comes out of it.
Hollyland, they hit the goal on that.
Yeah, and when you think Hollyland, right, you're thinking like, hey, video transmitters, a couple cheap things. But I had a discussion with them. They came to the studio here, and we were talking, and basically they're trying to go up that rank, competing with the big boys that sell intercoms and things like that. So, but for the movie, we didn't use, no.
That's what's up.
We used something else.
We're going to take a break.
I'm going to show you the trailer.
Yeah, no, I have to see the trailer. Definitely. You have to show me that. Yo. This is us. We ain't messing around. We got the stang on the ground. We got the back stang. Yo, you got to scratch, bro.
I don't want to mess up this mic. Oh, that was like really clipping right there.
That was really clipping right there. Yo, what you doing, bro? Let's yo, back up. We got this on the roll. We got the cameras rolling, specs rolling. We got the max rolling, back and my molding, rolling.
Yo, we're gonna put that in
Man. Anyways, bro. We gonna talk about what we gonna do about. Yo, that's too fast, man. That's the techno shit, man. I like that.
That's not ludicrous.
That's supposed to rhyme with the Brackstein. Anyways, but yo, look, bro. Listen, bro. I don't know if you ever met somebody that gives you, like, I call it all right there and there. You ever met somebody that you was like, damn, bro, this dude, man, is this for real? You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just, you meet them and you feel like you know them for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and they open up to you and they open you up. Right? They have you talking about shit.
Yeah, then it's contagious to where you end up kind of assuming the same.
Yeah, you're like, yo, this guy, who are you, bro? Back up, man.
Yeah, right? Sometimes it's like, are you trying something? Are you trying to take something from me?
Yeah.
You're too nice?
Yeah.
Or is it just, this is just naturally who you are?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've met some people like that.
Yeah.
Like out of the blue, they're just super nice, inviting. It's like a brother I know for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's strange. But at the same time, you know, we're all faults. We all got faults and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, man, like we need more people like that, right? And it's like if you look at go into society and you realize, like we're all kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And you seem to be a creep if you're overly communicative in a way, like in today's society. Like
I know exactly what you talk about because I hold a lot of stuff back when I'm around. You know, I hold back and I could give so much more. It's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, and
some people just give it all out to you, and you're like, "Yo, why is this guy?" You know, you feel weird. But
I'm gonna tell you a story actually that it's kind of weird. Well, first I'll tell you a good one. I wouldn't say a good one, but like this has happened to you. You go out in public,
yeah,
and sometimes I feel like if I'm not on my phone, that I'm looking weird. Like people start staring at me, right? Because if you're waiting for something, let's say you go somewhere shop, you gotta wait for food or waiting to pick up stuff, and like most people would be like they're just glued to their phone. They're kind of waiting. But if you're just standing there kind of looking around, people give you a look like you're scoping the place out or like, I don't want to be on my phone. I just want to look around, and you know, people give me dirty looks. It's weird.
I catch myself doing that a whole lot. You know that you know, and to be honest with you, the phone to me is an escape sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get caught up in situations where that's where I'm out. I don't want to, you know, either I don't want to be, either there's a conversation that's going on that I don't want no part of. I just put my head down and get on my phone, or maybe, you know, maybe if I don't have anything to add to whatever's going on, you know, I probably do something like that. You know, just that's what happens to me.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel you on that. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. Like I want to feel like I want them to know that I'm not interested in their conversation. Like you want, like you're like
that's rude though, right? I mean,
but it's like if I'm standing like this and looking,
it's rude. But the phone, since everybody do it, it's okay. You know, oh, he's on his phone. He's probably listening to you, but you're not. You're like, nah,
right. But if I'm not on my phone, like, why can I not be on my phone and not listening?
Because it could be irritating. Like I feel stuff in my body that I'm like, damn, man. I get uncomfortable.
Right. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird that the phone has gotten to a place where I feel like in the future it'll be, hey, if you don't have your Apple Vision Pros on, your VR headsets, you're a creep. Like, why are you looking around, man? Like everything's digitized and there's nothing for you to see.
No,
it's gonna be like
back to the
creepy story.
No, not the creepy story. Back to somebody giving you a whole lot and you not being able to take it right, because where we going now, people are not like that. People are holding back, right? They're not giving you,
right.
You don't. Some people hold back just to protect themselves, right?
Yeah, they don't want to love too much or get involved too much intimately in a way where it's like, hey, I might lose this friendship or this relationship, but at the same time, you're gonna go home thinking, why didn't I try to do this or try to do that? But then it turns into regret, and then it's like, why not know, even if it doesn't work?
Yeah,
because it won't work out both ways. If you don't do anything, you don't pursue something.
Yeah.
That's true. Nothing's going to work out. But if you also pursue it, and if it doesn't work out, the outcome's the same. So why not try that small percentage of it working out to see if it works?
So basically, just put your wall down a little bit and just let out.
Well, I'm not saying entirely, because so I'll give you an example, right? Like I'm doing this movie. I got real close with the director. Like he was like a nice guy and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was very welcoming. And I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to people just being kind of, just distant. It's a normal thing. Like we're distant. We're not really that close. Hey, but
I'm going to tell you this, and not to cut you off. When we met, come to my house. You said, yo, come to my house. I was like, oh, okay. When I went to your house, I felt that way about your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom was like crazy cool. I was like, bringing us food and all that. And I was like, my mom do stuff like that.
Yeah.
She'll ask if you want to eat, but it don't happen all the time when you go to. Is that a plane?
It's a low helicopter, yeah.
Right?
That's crazy. I look short all of a sudden.
Yo, lock the door, bro.
Yeah. No, I got my piece here. Don't worry.
I bet.
Actually, where is it? Oh, it's right there.
All right. So, back to that. Yeah. Like, we're not used to being treated that way these days.
Well, I think we have similar cultures, right? So, I think in the American culture, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like as an immigrant that came here, I noticed that Americans don't really cook. They like to go out, eat. They like to go out and eat. Mm-hmm. They like to celebrate in a different way. So when people come over, ever since I've been a kid, like when I went over to my friends' houses that were American, they didn't really, and I didn't care. I'm not complaining here at all. I'm just saying they didn't really take care of you as far as like, hey, hospitality wise.
Yeah.
When I went to Hispanic people's houses, it was like
it's crazy.
And in my culture is the same way. Like it's like people come, like my mom, like she treated you.
Yeah.
That's the same way I get treated when I go to Spanish people's houses, right? So the culture is similar with mine and yours. And I'm not going to take away nothing from these people because like they may do something a certain different type of way. So I don't know, like different people show love different ways.